The turf meets the surf at Old Del Mar. It's Pacific Classic Week 2025, and we have a field of 8 entered for this mile-and-a-quarter race. They're going to be going 10 furlongs, a mile and a quarter on the dirt. We've got the Breeders' Cup Classic runner-up from last year. We've got the Preakness winner from this year entered in the field. And of course, 10 furlongs, kind of a mini preview of the Breeders' Cup Classic. 3 of the top 10 classic horses ranked in the top 10 are entered here in the Pacific Classic. And let's take a look at this field, an 8-horse field led by Fierceness, a 2024 runner-up in the Breeders' Cup Classic, losing to Sierra Leone. Fierceness led until deep stretch before giving up that lead. Then we've got Midnight Mammoth, second place in the Hollywood Gold Cup. Ultimate Gamble, a presser, going up in class, 20-1 morning line. Nysos, who could be favored, we'll have to see. We've also got journalism in the race, but Nysos, he won the Triple Bend, he won the San Diego Handicap. That was at a mile and a 16th. This would be the first Grade 1 win of his career if he can win this race. Now we've got Indispensable going up in class after racing in Allowance Company the last couple of times. He's going to be 15 to 20 to 1. Journalism, the Preakness winner, the Haskell winner, second in the Kentucky Derby. He is running out of his home base track. He did his training, of course, won the Santa Anita Derby earlier this year. Journalism, 9 to 5 on the morning line. Lure 'em in, a long shot with Edwin Gonzalez, 20 to 1. And then Tarantino rounding out that field. Third in the San Diego Handicap. Faded at a mile and a 16th. I think he's one of those horses that's probably going to not like that mile and a quarter distance. So a classic field for the Pacific Classic. We've got the Preakness winner, Nysos, always highly regarded, coming off a San Diego victory, and Fierceness lost last time out. A lot more speed in that race. He faces a smaller field and a little bit of a drop in class from that Whitney Stakes last out. Let's take a look at these horses, find out how they got here, some of their bigger races. Let's start off with Nysos, always highly regarded. Let's go back to the Triple Bend, a small field. He was the big favorite, and he put this field away. Nysos taking command down the stretch. You know, big favorite, not a lot to gain by winning the race, but I think it showed that he could get back into the winner's circle after running a big race at Churchill Downs earlier this year after a long layoff. Then Nysos went into the San Diego Handicap. Again, small field, big favorite, 2 to 5 type. Flavian Prat rides, kind of a sit and pounce trip. He waited for some room on the turn, then he got room and then sprinted clear late. Now that was at a mile and a 16th. Now he's got to go longer. Still, again, going to want to have a slower pace. Got to chase a little bit more demanding type horse. A Grade 1 winner in Travers, winner last year, Fierceness. Nysos is winning the San Diego. Now we've got Tarantino, comes in with good form. Third in the San Diego, fourth in the Gold Cup. He was off the board in the Oaklawn Handicap. You know, he's good at a mile and a 16th to a mile and 1/8. I think a mile and a quarter is going to be stretching this 7-year-old who really has been running in a lot of big races, but he doesn't have as much upside as horses like Nysos, Journalism, and Fierceness, who are lightly raced and potentially better at 10 furlongs. Now you've got Fierceness. Let's go back to the Ali Sheba Stakes. Earlier this year, Churchill Downs off the layoff, Ali Sheba Stakes, Fierceness winning that one. Kind of had to grind away, picked up the win, and he may have bounced out of that race because he lost in the Met Mile, lost in the Whitney Handicap. You know, Fierceness has proven he can come a little bit off the pace. He can proven he can win in the lead like he did in the Florida Derby. Let's go now to the Jim Dandy Stakes last year. He wins this race. Small field, took command into the stretch, pulled away over a small field, kind of had them overmatched. And Fierceness, when he's on his game, he can deliver some big performances, but he also has run off the board like in the Kentucky Derby and in other races. Now Fierceness, let's go back to the Breeders' Cup Classic. Probably one of his better races in defeat. He took command from the other speed, opened up into the stretch, and then Sierra Leone wore him down after Fierceness had set some pretty demanding fractions, had kind of gotten challenged a little bit on the front end in that Breeders' Cup Classic. I don't think Journalism will be able to go after him early, and Nysos probably wants to sit back a little bit here in the Pacific Classic. Now, Indispensable, John Sadler trains. He's by constitution. I think overall he likes 1 1/8. He ran in the Zia Park Derby. He was second. Oklahoma Derby last year, he was third and second in the Shared Belief Stakes. He's got a little bit of West Coast Stakes company, and he's got a type of pedigree, constitution, on a Candy Ride that should like 1 1/8. That extra eighth of a mile, though, is kind of going to determine where Indispensable sits in that older horse division. He is lightly raced, so still a chance to improve here a little bit as a 4-year-old. Now, Journalism. A lot of people are going to like him. Let's go back to the Preakness Stakes. Remember, he was bumped, he was blocked, he overcame trouble, got out of that bumping incident, split horses, and then ran down Gosger late in that race. Journalism showing some stamina and able to overcome adversity. Remember, in the Kentucky Derby, he ran on a sloppy track for the first time, took the lead, and then was run down by Sovereignty. Now, the Haskell Stakes, kind of the same thing. He's wide. The front runners are continuing on and goal-oriented, and Gosger, they're dueling on the front end. Out in the middle of the track is Journalism, gains his stride, and over the top, down the lane, and picks up the win in the Haskell Stakes. A big victory, a grade 1 in the Haskell, a grade 1 in the Preakness Stakes. Journalism, probably kind of a tweener. He likes 1 1/8. He can get the 1 1/4. He's going to probably take a lot of money here, 9 to 5 on the morning line. It'll be interesting to see if Nysos is favored or if Journalism is favored in this race on the betting board. Now, Midnight Mammoth was second in the Hollywood Gold Cup. That was at 10 furlongs, but he kind of faded late. We've got Nysos in here, Fierceness, and some other pressers in the race. I'm not sure Midnight Mammoth is going to get a best trip. Now, Ultimate Gamble, another one going up in class from Allowance Company. He's by Medaglia d'Oro out of a Ghost Zapper mare. He's going to be a long shot in this race. 6 furlong pace. Overall, I've got Fierceness on the lead, pressers in Nysos and Ultimate Gamble. Journalism a little bit off the pace, along with Midnight Mammoth and Indispensable. Journalism may be at the rear of the pack. Fierceness more towards the front. Nysos is kind of the key to the race. Overall, I think it's going to be an average pace, but I think Fierceness wants to try to spread out that field, and Nysos wants to make it a sprint. So, going to be interesting to see how these jockeys approach that final eighth of a mile. My top choice in the Pacific Classic, definitely can make the case for Journalism. He sits in good form. 3-year-old facing older horses, always a tough battle for the first time. You've got Nysos going to that grade 1 company. I'm going to go with Fierceness. I thought his Whitney Stakes, he faced a lot more speed. He gets a softer pace potentially in this race. I'm going to put Fierceness on top, and my exactas, I'm going to play Fierceness over Nysos and Journalism for my exactas in the Pacific Classic. Should be an exciting Pacific Classic. Remember, like and share this video with your horse racing friends. We've already got a preview of the Spinaway Stakes. Breeders' Cup Prospectus comes out. Sign up below in the description to be notified when all the stats and information and picks come out for the Breeders' Cup 2025. The Pacific Classic. Who do you like? Leave a comment. What do you think about Nysos and Journalism? And remember, D. Wayne Lucas always said, people have opinions, horses have the facts.